Hey Rock On Beer viewers, Homebrew review. Another beer from Josh Secor. This one's an accidental beer, in fact, and so let's just get right into this. This is LBP, and this is the Homebrew Pils. So I have another beer that it just says Lou on top. So if you don't know Ryan Lewis, come on, dog. Lou Brew's channel, if I can remember, put a link to it. He was messing around with some funky Brett back in the day. I can't remember around when this was made, but he's the master of haze. He did a lot of Brett stuff, and he had a Brett Saison strain that he was passing around to all the American brew tubers, and Josh Secor actually brewed a beer with that, which I have a bottle of, and I think I'm gonna take it back to Denmark because I'm playing with the idea of trying to capture the strain out of there, because Josh was like, "Do you want me to? Can I send you a sample?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't really want to explain that to the." I mean, beers are one thing, but having like a vial filled with living culture, it might be tough to explain to TSA. But so I think I'm gonna try and take that. I might try and do a capture on it. But anyway, Josh laid down a Pilsner, and he did it in the same carboy as the Saison, as the story goes, as I understand it. And it came out distinctly bready, and it came out distinctly looking like this beer. Ooh, I'm gonna be aggressive. I expected it to be pretty carbonated-y. So I think it's just a straight up Pils. It might be an IPL. I can't remember what he said, but let's see. Oh yeah, it's definitely got Brett in it. I've never had a Pilsner with Brett before. Well, I have, but not intention. Well, I guess that kind of plays in here. I've had a couple of infected Pilsners before, but they were really bad. But I do know from like Michael Tonsmer's American Sour book that some sour breweries actually use Pilsners or, you know, like lager beers as their base, so it's interesting. It has a very mild Brett nose, like I can immediately recognize it as Brett. No problem whatsoever with recognizing what's in that this beer has a Brett infection. But it's very pleasant. It's the same kind of Brett smell that I get from like normal Brett beers that are intentionally Bretted. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, wow, dude, this tastes like a happy accident. Wow. Very, like, I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound silly, it's a very clean Brett taste. Like, the taste of the beer is probably insanely clean because it's a lager, and then the Brett is just, you know, very mild Brett funk, and it's just clear as day. This is that kind of, not barnyard, but like, it's a little funky. It's that kind of, yeah, dry, bready funk. No off flavors, none of the like bad, like wild Brett infection flavors at all. And the smell is actually really nice. If you like Brett beers, the smell is really clearly Brett. It's very nice. Yeah, geez. I'm surprised at how little carbonation this is. You can see it's super clear. I actually thought that this one of the reasons I'm drinking it here is because it has Brett in it. So I was a little worried that it could be overcarbonated and could explode in my bag. And I'm actually kind of thinking of the other, because there's another Brett beer out there. I think I'm gonna probably drink that too, just in case. And then I'm gonna roll the dice with the Lou Saison. I'd like triple bagged it, but I thought that there would be a little more carbonation in it, but it's really drinkable. Super light bodied, but for some reason there is that crispness, that Pilsner, that kind of lager crispness to it, but it's flavored of Brett. So instead of just getting that kind of super clean finish with maybe a little bit of like Pilsner malt or something that you would get in a normal lager, you get a really interesting Brett tang, and I really like it. This is actually kind of a cool idea. I think that if maybe you're not looking for a really intense, funky Brett flavor, it could be really cool to make a lager, and then during the lagering phase maybe add some Brett, which I'm guessing that this probably took hold during I don't know what the cold tolerance for Brett is. That's interesting. I know Brett will pretty much be doing something at pretty much any temperature, but that could be an interesting thing to do, is if you want like an ultra clean Brett profile to use a lager and use the Brett during the lagering phase. I'm gonna have to, Josh, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, man. Come on, we're buddies, right? Let me know, like what do you, so it probably got infected right when you put it in the, but what do you think of my idea? I don't know. Did it grow pellicle? I'm like talking like we're on the phone or something. Anyway, that's really nice. I dig that. There's a little bit of I'm noticing like a little bit of an aftertaste that's kind of weird. Can't quite figure it out. I think it's part of the malt that that Brett flavor has kind of done something funky to that, but I'm not sure. But it's really nice, dude. Thank you again. Thanks everybody. Brett Pilsner. That's the next thing. Mark my words. Brett Pilsner. Brett Pilsner is the new Berliner Weiss. Alex Rock said it. 2017. Whatever month, March 2017. I predict Brett Pilsner is the new thing, the new it beer. Cheers.